Question number 40. Can the discharge be revoked? A discharge can be revoked under certain circumstances. For instance, a trustee, creditor, or the United States trustee may request that the court revoke a debtor's discharge in a Chapter 7 case based on, number 1, allegations that the debtor obtained the discharge fraudulently, number 2, that the debtor failed to disclose the fact that he or she acquired or became entitled to acquire property that would constitute property of the bankruptcy estate, or 3, the debtor committed one of several acts of impropriety described in Section 727A6 of the Bankruptcy Code. Typically, a request to revoke the debtor's discharge must be filed within 1 year after the granting of the discharge, or in some cases, before the date that the case was closed. It is up to the court to determine whether such allegations are true, and if so, to revoke the discharge. Question number 41. What can I do if a creditor tries to collect a discharge debt after the case is concluded? If a creditor attempts collection efforts on a discharge debt, the debtor can file a motion with the court reporting the action and asking the case to be reopened to address the matter. The bankruptcy court will often do so to ensure that the discharge is not violated. The discharge constitutes a permanent statutory injunction prohibiting creditors from taking any action, including the filing of a lawsuit, designed to collect a discharged debt. A creditor can be sanctioned by the court for violating the discharge injunction. The normal sanction for violating the discharge injunction is civil contempt, which is often punishable by a fine. Question 42. How long do I have to wait to try to rebuild my credit? You can rebuild your credit immediately with a secured loan or a secured credit card. You can even obtain these items while going through the bankruptcy process. Question number 43. How long does it take before my debts are discharged? To get a discharge in the Chapter 7 case usually takes between 4 and 5 months. Question 44. How long until my credit gets back to the point where I might hope to get a regular credit card or a mortgage? Rebuilding credit depends on how aggressively you try to get back on track, but don't count on less than 1 to 3 years. Question 45. How would I know if Chapter 7 is right for my situation? If you have very few assets with no property and your assets can be exempted, then Chapter 7 might be right for you as long as you have no other obligations such as court-ordered alimony, child support payments, criminal restitution, non-dischargeable taxes, or student loans. Question 46. Which bankruptcy chapter is least expensive for me? Well, I would think that Chapter 7 is the least expensive because you do not have to pay off any of your debts. They all get discharged. The next least expensive is Chapter 13, where you would have to repay at least a portion of your debts. Question 47. Can I pick and choose which assets to put into my personal bankruptcy? No, you can't. Every asset you own must be included in your filing. Upon filing, you may choose to exempt some of your assets depending on which exemptions are available to you. Question 48. What does reaffirm mean? You become personally liable for the debt again. For instance, in the vehicle example above, if you kept the car and made payments, the creditor would probably want you to sign a new contract, which is called a reaffirmation agreement. Question 49. I own a small corporation. Does my personal bankruptcy affect my corporation? No, but your shares go to the trustee and may restrict your voting and transferring privileges. Question 50. Do I have to appear before a bankruptcy judge? No. You will meet with a trustee and possibly your creditors at a meeting called a 341 meeting, which is named after the section of the law provision which outlines the meeting process.